Okay, so in the last video, we made some correction on writing the error and also this error response and those things. So in this video, we are going to add more to the error, but probably not going to be this video. So the next one that I'm going to talk about is we are going to the internal candidate and the user over there. We are going to write the SQL for the login of a user. So over here, what I will do is I will just remove this one over here, and now I'll write a query for that. So the query that we are going to write is going to be equal to, and I'll use the select, and I will select the ID, and I will select the ID, the first underscore name, the email, the password hash, the password hash, the last name. Let me put the last name here. Last underscore name, the last name, let me collapse here, the created underscore at, the active, and the version. So these are the fields. These are the things that I'll be selecting, and I'll give you a reason why I didn't use the select all statements. But we are going to scan them, and if you are unable to get it how it's being arranged in the database, definitely you are going to make some value over there. That's why I made it in this way. So over here, what I need to do is I need to select it based on a certain condition. So where email. So based on the email, then we compare the password later on. So where the email equal to $1, it is going to be the email that we will pass over there. And I'm going to create a context. And now the context and also a cancel over there, and this is going to be equal to context dot with timeout, and this I want it to happen within 3 seconds. So I will just say this need to be one in background, and I need 3 seconds for this to be executed. So that is going to be time dot second, and after this I will defer the cancel, and after deferring the cancel, then I'm going to return something. I'm going to have row, and this row is going to be the m.db dot, and now I will use the query context, and it requires the context, so I will use the here and the context, and it will require the query, and that is the SQL statement that we want, and any other parameter that is going to be the email that we pass in the over there. So after this, we will check if the row dot error is not equal to nil. If it is not equal to nil, that means there was an error. So we are going to return nil for the user and also the error that it returned. The error is going to be row, or is going to be row dot error like this. And if nothing like that, and there actually a row, then I'm going to make an instance of a user or user, which is going to be an instance of the user class. I'm going to have the user class to be there, and now an instance of it. And I'll use this one and use the scan statement. And now I'm going to scan this into this variable. So in the pointer, I'm going to use the pointer to access this variable, and it's going to be user dot, and the first one is going to be the ID. So you are going to do it exactly as it's been arranged over here. So we have the user dot ID. We will have this user dot the first name, user dot last name. The next one is going to be user dot and email. The next one is going to be then we echo user dot password dot hash. Scan it to the password dot hash. The next one is going to be the user dot, and we use the created at. And the next one is going to be the active, and the version will be the last, or going to be the game user dot activated. That is what we use. And the last one is going to be the user dot version like this. And after that, this one, when you check, it returns an error code. You will get the error and store it in a variable called this error, and you will check if the error is not equal to nil, or there was an error in scanning it. Therefore, we are going to return nil for the user and the error like that. Or if not so, then we are going to return pointer to the user and then nil for the error. So this is going to be our SQL statement. And from now to actually log in, we are going to the GMD and the API folder, and we'll go to the users.go. And the users.go, we are going to create another method under the API class, or API is going to be the pointer API as usual. And we are going to have this method to be called log in, just like that, and it takes the response writer, or http dot response writer, and the last one is the request, or that is going to be a pointer to the http request like this, and the return nothing over here. So we are going to accept two things, the password and the email. So you have an input. I will create a variable and an input over here, and for that is going to be the type is going to be extract, which we are going to have first one to be the email, and the email is going to be string, and if JSON format, in each JSON we are going to have email like this. The next one is the password, and that is going to be string, and if JSON is going to be password like that. So after that, we will get the value, and that is going to be the API.read JSON, and with the JSON it takes the writer, the request, and the variable, a pointer to the variable that we will scan everything to. That is going to be the input, and we check if there is any error. Then we are going to use the API dot gather response error, and we pass these two in, and we will return from that. We are not going to continue. So if there is no any error, it means that now we are having the input. So we will deal up with the JSON. We will deal with having the email validation and those things. So for now, what we are going to check is we are going to check if we are going to get the user based on the email. So we will just use API. We will come back and do the validation, but for now, I will just assign user and an error, and this is going to be equal to the API, and we use the model, and we use it return to access this one, and it takes the email. So that is going to be the input dot email like this. And if there is any error, it means the email doesn't exist. And here we are going to use the API and use the response, the right JSON format over here, and we are going to have these two, the status http dot status, and this one let me check. But let me use the unauthorized, and now use the envelope and the error, and the error that we are going to show is email is invalid. Email is invalid, and the heading is going to be nil for that. So, and we are going to return from it. So if there is no any error, then we get the email. Now we are going to compare the password. So we will just we will create a variable called check, and this is going to be equal to user dot password dot, and we will check the matching, and we are going to compare this with the password that we have. So the plain text is going to be the input and the password that we have. And let me check. Return to argument, or return this and an error. So we will check for the error. So we just if error is not equal to nil. If error is not equal to nil, then we are going to return something like password is incorrect, or something like that, or password. Let me the password is invalid. Password is invalid, or if error is not equal to nil, or let's use this operator and use the check or not, that means false, means that the password returns false, or password is incorrect. let me do incorrect to it. And now you will check if check that means it's true. If check, or let me check, let me come here, or let me do invalid for here. And now let me remove the condition from there and bring it down here. So that is if not checked. Here is where we are going to put the conditioning where the password is incorrect. Password is incorrect, like this one. And if it passes to this, and that means both password and the email is correct. And now we will just show the user info. And the next video we are going to use JSON Web Token to actually sign in the user. So let me just have let me just use assign this and use the JSON writer over here. And now this is not an error, but the user info that is going to be the user as we have. And we check for any error. And if there is any error, if the error is not equal to nil, then we are going to return server error response and pass it W. And now we are good to go. So we can go back to our router, and now we create a route for this one, and that is going to be log in, and we are going to have here to be the login method that we have. So let me start in Chromia and go to the terminal. Or I'll go to terminal and start a new terminal. Okay. Okay, so I can go run. That is going to be cmd/API. Okay, go connected to database and starting server. There, go it's running successfully. And now, so we have this. Okay, and let me create another endpoint. And let me check for the state of hope. Oh, yeah, let's make it a post request post, and here to be another post request. Don't want a login which is sending the data to database. You need to be a post request. So let me stop the server and rerun it again. Okay, and now let me zoom in this one and use http://local host, and I'll use the 4000 / then user / login /login like this, and I'll go to the body, and now the body I will choose JSON. Okay, Okay, so I will choose JSON, and now I'm going to create a user. So first name is going to be let me make it Samuel. Then last name is going to be Education. Then email is going to be affair@gmail.com, and the last one is the password. The password is going to be Gmail. The password is going to be Authenticating pass 1 2 3 4. Oh, Alright, let me make it a post request, and now we are creating an account. So I will use get create, and now send it. The user is created. So now let's log in to the user. So I'll make it login over here and change and delete this, and now see if we can have exactly that. So invalid email. Let me check. I'm having the, well, let's go to the code because the same email. Okay, let's go to the code and check why it's saying invalid email. Oh, login. If error is not equal to mail, that means it's not from here. Let me check the model. Select it. Okay. Well, before we can check it properly, let me just log. Let me just use fmt dot print line, and I'll print the error. So I'll print the error here. That is one, and this row 2. I need to print the error over there. So let me get this. Now print the error so that we can see what is going on. Go back to the terminal. Okay. Back to the terminal. Let me terminate the server and rerun it again. Okay. So let's go to this again, and let's come back and see what is log. It doesn't log anything. Email is invalid. Okay. Okay. It's from the SQL statement. So we make the form go from user target, go from user. So we make the table that we are selecting it from. Go from user, and let's go back and now run it, and you can see we have the user information, but this is not what we are going to use to log in. This is not what we are going to use to log in. So what we are going to, then you can see there an unauthorized error over there, and the reason was we use it over here unauthorized, so we can just see title OK, or we can just click title OK. And when we go back with Insomnia and request it, no, you need to rerun the error. Rerun the error. Okay. Okay, let me go back. Now turn it again, and now we have a title OK. So in the next video, we are going to use JSON Web Token to and rather return a token in which we will use it in this auth parameter. In this auth parameter, then we are going to use a barrier token, and a barrier token, then we set the token over here, and that is going to be our authentication. I'm going to base on that to give the user information and everything. So thank you for watching, and subscribe. We will meet in the next video.